this pen changed the trajectory of my entire life. I found myself in a situation where I felt like I had nothing. I've just lost my business. I've spent 7 years and swapped my youth building. I've invested hundreds of thousands of pounds of my own money and really just given 100%, sacrificed all the weekends, worked every day, put all my money in, all my time, all my effort, put every other area of my life on pause to grow this one thing. And I went all in on it. I went all in on it. And I ended up even going to the point of choosing to pay rent for an office, which were £4,000 a month, whilst I still lived at my mum's house. And this was just for a short while to help her with the bills while I had the rent, and I wasn't ready to move out because I chose the business instead. Now, throughout my entire life, I've always lived with strangers. I've never liked it, and I'm not from an abusive house or anything remotely close to that, but I've always felt uncomfortable where I've lived. Always felt uncomfortable where I've lived. And one of my major inspirations in my entire life and my main driving forces is to get stuff under control and get my own space. This has been one of my biggest goals for my entire life. And when I left college and I finally sort of stepped into the real world, that was my goal. And that's what I swapped my youth for. I swapped my youth to put myself in that position. And, you know, I started working and I started learning and I started going all in and I started swapping my youth and I stopped speaking to people and it drove me a bit insane actually. And, I started making money eventually after 3-4 years of just consistency and not living my life pretty much, yeah. And then I finally got the money together to go get my own place. And then my brother has just always hated me. You know, he could start an argument over a glass of water, that guy. And he moves into the house I lived in at my dad's, and one day it just erupted. I left the door open and he just started shouting spicy at me. So we just had a fight, and I was just like, this is the time for me to go. I need to leave. So I left and then went out. I ended up moving into my mum's for a little bit, and I said to my mum, look, whatever, I don't mind moving in. She was asking me to move in because she wanted me to pay towards the bills a little bit. At the time I was making good money, I was fine with it. And I thought it's just going to be for a short while. And I just said to her, listen, I cannot do with this same stuff of living with strangers that I've always been through my entire life. I cannot do with it. So just tell me now, if you are going to plan to live with somebody else, just let me know and I'm not moving in. That is my only thing. I do not want to live with another stranger. So then 6 months goes by, meets a new guy. My financial situation changes, can't move out. So now all of a sudden I'm living with this guy, my mum's saying. And this guy was an alcoholic, okay? We worked and had a job and stuff like that, but he was an alcoholic, yeah. And didn't really mind as much as first, although it wasn't ideal. My room was downstairs, and because my mum had just moved into this house for a while, she didn't get the carpets in the house, and the house was loud because it were all floorboards. And because my room was downstairs, I could essentially hear the kitchen, because my room was next to the kitchen, walking up the stairs. I had the toilet above my head, and every single night I could just hear this 30 minutes nighttime routine every single night. And then when my business went bad and I got hacked and robbed, and it got to the point when I'm like, right, I'm working 7 days a week, early till late, just trying to save it, right? I was looking at everything I'd worked for the past 7 years. Like, I'd gone all in on this one thing. It's like, stop living my life, yeah. Gone all in on this one thing, and I'm like watching it. I'm watching it disappear, right? And I'm watching just all my life force and money getting drained, and I'm just trying my best to save it. And all I'm saying is just I don't need anything off you. I don't need any help off you. I don't need any help of anybody. Yeah, just let me go to bed at 10 o'clock so I can get up early enough to have enough time to work at it. And every single night at 10 o'clock, I could just hear that TV on, and then the full nighttime routine. till 10:30, 11 o'clock, and sometimes I just get to sleep and then just hear the full nighttime routine every single night, yeah. And it was just like a reminder of like the situation that I'd got myself in, where it's like, this is my ultimate goal, to never be in this situation, and now I'm trapped in it. And then what happened is, so this guy is an alcoholic, and one time my mum went on holiday and I were in the house, and this guy comes back to the house with just me there, and he's having a mental health episode. Like, this guy's seriously got mental health issues, and he's been sectioned and stuff like this. And he basically comes in and he's crying his eyes out. Yeah, he's sat on the sofa, laid down on the sofa with his head on my leg here, holding my hand like this, gripping it, squeezing it tight, shaking, having a mental breakdown, yeah. And he's telling me, oh, I think your mum's cheating on me. He's saying all this, all this extra stuff. He keeps nipping upstairs. By far the most intense experience I've ever been through in my entire life. Like, I've never seen anything from it. And because of how the setup was, I was a bit wary of this guy anyway. And I'd just seen all that, and I was like, it was too intense. But I was still understanding of it. I was thinking, he's got all these, he's got these mental health problems. Or, I sort of understood it. I've had mental health problems myself, yeah, all my life. And I sort of like understood it a little bit. Anyway, I had to leave the house, and I left the house because I just couldn't go back. So it was just too much. And then I had to send my brother around, right? And when my brother went around to the house, he didn't live there. This guy was laid on the floor, and he had to call an ambulance for him, right? And his son had to come. And his son came, and he said to my brother that he's a compulsive liar. And as soon as he said that, everything he said changed, right? Everything he said changed. I had this story about he got banned from driving. Because apparently he was behind the wheel. He got caught drink driving, and he wouldn't take the breathalyzer. But apparently he wasn't drinking. So if you ask 100 people, 99 of them would say that's a bullshit story. But, just ignored all this for some reason. And it's like all these things just added up, right? And I'm just like, he's lying to my mum. He's like manipulated her. And my businesses, I'm trying to save my business at this time, yeah? I'm trying to save my fucking business. All 7 years of work, right? Hundreds of thousands of pounds I've invested into it. All my teenage years, my youth was gone into this one thing, right? Like extreme isolation. And I'm trying to save it. And then, I'm dealing with this. And I'm just like, this is too much. Anyway, and I'm at this time as well, my mum's still charging me £200 a month board, and this guy's living here for free. So you've got this compulsive liar, alcoholic, who's living in the house for free every single night when I'm trying to sleep, just because I'm trying to get up and work at saving what I've been working for. I can't sleep because I can just hear all this, and I can hear him pissing above my head because the toilet's above my head, and there's no floorboards in the entire house. No carpets in the entire house. And it's just every night of this. It's just that reminder of like, right, I've been put into this. I've tried my best. I've given everything that I can to never be in this situation, and I found myself locked in this situation. And it was like that for months, every night. And then one time, he came back to the house, huffing and puffing. And I said, what's up with you? And he starts kicking off. And my mum's not here at this point, right? He starts kicking off big time. And then he's walking out the door and he's saying, I've spoke to people about you. I've been speaking to people about you. Saying all this stuff. I'm like, what? What the fuck does that mean? So I followed him out. And I've gone to the end of the street. And I'm saying, what does that mean? Who have you spoke to about me? Who are you speaking to about me? And then he turns around and double hand pushes me, yeah, and he's on the phone. And he says to my mum, he's just attacked me, right? That's what he said to her, he's just attacked me. So, you know, you've got to think, I'm thinking at this time, compulsive liar, right? He's literally lying about me to try and turn my own mum against me. And yeah, then I've gone back to the house, and he's come back, and he's standing in my way, and he's trying to barge me, and he's trying to get me to fight him, right? And in my mind, I'm just like, oh wow, you're finished now. I'm just leaving it, because I'm just like, wow, you just completely finished. You are completely finished. So I just thought, you know what, I'll just let this develop into what it needs to be, because he's just gone, problem finished, problem solved. Anyway, next day I wake up, and my mum wouldn't even look at me. Yeah. And I told her what he said. I told her what happened, and she said, "No, he didn't say that." Yeah, you've got to imagine. I'm stood. We're gonna get onto the pen story soon. I'm stood in front of this guy, me and him, right, touching distance, and I've watched him say something out of his mouth, and she's saying to me that didn't happen. And yeah, then I just like, right, I've got to leave. And I took all my stuff and left. I had to go find somewhere to live. At this point, I'm £50,000 in debt. I've got what's left of my business that I need to go store somewhere. And I need a new place to live. And my brother let me come and live at his house. My oldest brother. So basically literally saved me, because I had nowhere else to go. No money. And I had to try and keep things going to reduce the damage. So like genuinely saved me. But the problem is, I went into isolation, right? So I was just in this house trying to get myself out of this situation, and I had this other problem of getting betrayed by my own mum, and she turning against me. And this guy was back in the house the week after. And the only way I can describe it is, it broke my mind. Like something snapped in my mind. My mind didn't work anymore. Yeah. And then just bearing in mind, at this point, I'm 23 years old, or 22. I've started my own business from zero. I've done millions in sales. I'm making about 15 to 20k a month net profit, right? Before I got hacked and stuff like this. You know, my life's progressing. I've just moved into a new office. I've got a new car. I've done a lot of self-development. I'm in shape. I've got good habits. I'm at work at 7 a.m. every single morning, read, meditate, start work early. I've got staff, you know, highly disciplined, trained I went to gym and Muay Thai, 2 different training sessions every single day, back to back. Diet on point, same food every day. Dialed in, like super dialed in, strong-minded. Started from zero as well. Never had a job, never had guidance, anything like that, yeah. Truly dialed in as you can get. And my mind broke. My mind broke when I went into this isolation period, and I had all these personal problems. I'm basically losing everything I've ever worked for. And then on top of it, I've got this alcoholic psychopath, and my mum's just betrayed me and basically told me I'm a liar. And it's just at that point, you just never, you never think your own mum would do that to you. You never think someone in your family can betray you like that. I never thought that'd be a possibility, not in my darkest dreams. I would have never, ever thought that would be a possibility. And at that time in my life, and I basically went into this isolation period, and, you know, I turned really negative, and my friends stopped speaking to me. You know, these people I'd seen on a weekly basis, they all disappeared. No one wanted to spend no time with me because I was so negative. And I was just looking at my life, and I'm like, I've got nothing. Like, I've got a roof over my head, but this house is like a prison, right? I'm not even enjoying it here. So even though it saved me, and I'm grateful for it, you know, I couldn't look at it like a positive thing. And I'd go for weeks and no contact off anybody. And I'd sit here and look out the window, and I'd hear the cars go by, and thinking, you know, the world's just going on without me. And it just got to the point when my confidence went that low that I had a TV in the corner of the room, broken TV, and all I had to do was go take it, go down to the wheelie bin, and put it next to the bin. And I couldn't even muster up the courage to walk 2 meters to pick that TV up, 32-inch TV. It's not heavy, and just walk it 10 meters. I couldn't even get myself to do that. I didn't even believe that I could do that. And it's like all my self-development progress, my personal progress just went. And I were in this level of desperation, yeah. This level of desperation where I couldn't even, I was dying for help, and I just didn't hear of anybody. Right? Now to a lot of people I'd always seen, they're probably thinking, right, he's going through the shit, Theo sorts his own problems, he's just sorting his problems out. But when you're in isolation and you've got an idle mind, your mind starts working against you. It's, you know, that's the devil's playground, right? And I started convincing myself that nobody likes me anymore. And because my best friend stopped speaking to her, and my own mum turned on me, and I lost everything, I thought, the correlation is me. Yeah, the correlation is me. And I'm trying to just figure out what I did wrong. And listen, there's kernels of things that I did wrong in all of these things. It's, you know, everything's my fault, right? But my own mind turned against me, and I went from this disciplined person, this top 1% discipline, to literally just a constant pain. I was in constant mental pain to the point I never thought I could get to that. From the minute I woke up to the minute I went to bed, it was just pain all day. You know, I'd wake up in the morning, it'd just be there in my mind. It's like this thing that I'm always carrying. No matter what I did, it would just follow me, yeah. And this went on for a long time. And just slowly over time, I started realizing, like, I'm gonna lose my life here if I don't fix this. I'm gonna watch my life go by. Not suicidal or anything like that. Never. That would never happen to me. And after that, I know that would never ever happen to me. Yeah. And, you know, I had to start looking for ways to get out of this. Okay. Now, I came across this video, and it was on gratitude, right? And it was, the problem is I was failing every day, and I was trying. I was still working, trying to build a business and trying to get out of it, right? But I was just failing. And the problem is, because my mind turned against me, every single failure I accumulated, it added into this self-image of I'm a failure, right? And every time I talk about what happened, I'd say I lost everything, I lost. Well, what happens when you start saying I lost? Right, what happens with that? You're taking on a new identity, and you're talking about yourself in a way that you finished. Like, lost is a final thing. If you lose a war, you've lost the war, the war's gone, right? So I'm saying I lost to everybody I meet, because what I'm hoping to do is I'm hoping to tell someone about my problems, and they're going to come up with a solution randomly, but I'm not asking them for a solution directly. So every time I'd meet someone I knew, I'd be like, I lost this, I lost everything, and I start complaining. But it built a new identity. It built me a new identity of I'm a loser, and I wasn't a loser. I was a winner. I'd always been a winner. I made myself into a winner, but I took this mindset of a loser, but I couldn't get out of it, and I knew I was in it. So I came across this concept of gratitude, right? So what I started doing is, you know, every morning I'd try to say to myself, I'm waking up at 7 a.m. tomorrow, and I couldn't do it. 7 a.m. tomorrow, couldn't do it. 7 a.m. tomorrow, couldn't do it. So what I started doing is I started writing down every single day, and I will review every single day, right? This is a new one I'm doing, and I would just sit down and review every single day what went well, what went wrong. And I'll be honest with you, for a long time, everything was going wrong, right? But because I was reflecting on my day, I was able to take responsibility. And then I used to write down what I'm grateful for. Yeah, 5 things I'm grateful, right? Now, at the time, in the position that I was in, yeah, I had fuck all to be grateful for, right? I still had family, I still got given accommodation, right? So I am grateful for that, of course. But you've got to understand, at the time, when my mind is working against me, I'm not seeing the places that I'm living. I'm not seeing the gratitude in it, 'cause it's been like a prison, right? I got trapped in this thing. I had no money. People weren't reaching out to me. I didn't feel like I could leave for months. So I was in pure isolation. So it was impossible for me to look at it like a positive thing. And it was hard to be grateful for a lot of family, because a lot of people didn't reach out, right? No one checked up on me, pretty much. Not often, honestly. So I had to start writing down what I'm grateful for now. Look, I didn't have anything to be grateful for, yeah. Lost everything I worked for. I was watching my friends' life progress, get houses, relationships, kids. So, I'm like 25 now at this point, right? And I had to sell my car, and I had a little shitty van. I had to go get a minimum wage job delivering parcels and working at a warehouse on a night time after when I started getting the ball moving again. And I just had nothing to be grateful for, so I started looking for things to be grateful for. And one thing I had is this pen. Yeah. Now this pen was from the Ritz-Carlton. Okay. It was from a mastermind that I went to in Dubai. It's a Ritz-Carlton pen. Now it's the perfect shape for how I hold pens, because I hold pens like this. People usually hold it like this. I hold it like this, right? Now the shape of this pen, it was thin enough to fit my grip perfectly, right? It was a twist off pen, and the ink was very thick, and it lasted a very long time. I love this pen, yeah. So what I would write is, in this book, yeah, I'm grateful for this pen. I'm grateful for this pen. Yeah, and when I started, the only thing that I wrote on that fucking page was I am grateful for this pen. Right? And now, I'm back. Right? I got back in shape. I started a new business. I started a YouTube channel. And now I'm moving to Thailand next month. The goal that I always wanted. And it all started, I got myself out of that rock bottom situation, right? For looking for things to be grateful for. That is where it all started. And even when I had nothing to be grateful for, right? I was grateful for the pen.